everyone, and this is twinsanity, and today we are restarting an old series of mine, which I lost all the other episodes to, but it's complicated, and I will explain it in another video. So today we are going to be rebooting Beta Time, where I talk about a beta of a game that you may or may not know about. So what do we do today? Today we are going to be doing Crash Twinsanity. Okay, well let's go. Crash Twinsanity started as a game called Crash Bandicoot Evolution. Crash Bandicoot Evolution is much more different than Crash Twinsanity. It still had the open world, but it was much different. The project was eventually cancelled due to it being, quote-unquote, too similar to Ratchet and Clank. So, Crash Bandicoot Evolution was no more, and they decided to turn the project into something new. This project is Crash Bandicoot Unlimited, or as we know it today, Crash Twinsanity. First, we are going to talk about the many titles. Crash Twinsanity went through many titles, like the previously mentioned Crash Bandicoot Evolution and Crash Bandicoot Unlimited, as well as something very similar to the final title, Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity. The word Bandicoot was removed from the title. I have no idea why they did that. But another name for the project was Crash Bandicoot A Whole New Dimension. Yeah. Not a lot to talk about here. Yeah. Before we get on to the big stuff, we should talk about the little stuff. First up is that the 10th dimension actually had a much brighter sky with clouds. After clouds. I guess if that's grammar. Rather than the final version, which looks very dark and gloomy, this looks very happy. Like, if Evil Twins didn't hate Crash and Cortex. Yeah. So, hooray. Another beta difference is that Sandy Island used to have these caves. There are caves in the final version in Sandy Island, but these caves have bats that come out of them. These caves were cut from the game, and the caves in the final game were just the caves in Jungle Bungle, which are, oh yeah, and Kevin Catastrophe, I guess you can count that. Next we have some unused features, functions, and moves. First up, we have the Super Punch. If you press square, well, for PS2, if you press the spin button, and then shortly after, press the slide button, Crash would do this really cool looking punch. This was removed from the game. I don't know why. Actually, I do. The developers thought it was too powerful, as it could actually break locked crates, which in the final game can only be broken by a belly flop. Yeah. Another difference is that Totem Hokum was very different early on. As seen by this screenshot, it looks very different. See? In the final game, there is a lot of water, and it takes place on a different. Instead of a bridge, it takes place on a little place that looks similar to that of Jungle Bungle. So yeah, this is an early version, and Cortex's pose used in this was actually used in the game's own instruction manual. Now we're done with about all the. Oh no, wait. We're not done. In the early version of Crash Twinsanity, the switches that Cortex can pull were originally computers. Okay, so they were computers? That's interesting. Cortex would have used computers instead of switches in the early version of Crash Twinsanity. This screenshot of the game shows that it looked not really good at one point in development.
Yes.
Aku Aku's feathers are glitchy and non-colored, and the pipe from Boiler Room Doom is not textured at all.
That's not good.
This is another picture from the beta. Again, Aku Aku's miscolored feathers are here, but there's also an ant here. This is from Antagony, and it didn't look very good in the early stages of development. So it's good that they actually changed it to look like the beautiful game it actually is. As you can see in this footage, the HUD of the game was much different early on. It used a different font in this demo, but in this beta, it didn't use any icons at all, just letters. Like when you collect Wampa in the final game and E3 demo, there is a Wampa fruit icon right by a number. But in this early beta, there is absolutely no icon, and it just simply says Wampa. Now let's move on to some of the bigger stuff. Here, you can see a picture of Nina holding an unused character, Poopy. Yes, you heard that right. Poopy. This character was cut from the game entirely. It was a big part of the first thing of the game. I'm not sure what to call it. Which was previously mentioned Crash Bandicoot Evolution. Uka Uka had some major coloring issues here. He looks very ugly in these two screenshots. I don't know what happened here, but in this prototype, somebody messed up. 3 music tracks were cut from the final release. Here's one for Classroom Chaos. Here's one that was supposed to play in Ice Climb. And finally, this one was supposed to play in Boiler Room Doom. Ice-capades was much different in the beta. You can see that the layout was completely changed, and some really weird, seemingly misplaced effects are coming from the Cortex. This picture is from the pause menu in the E3 demo. It shows the possibility of time trials coming from a return of Crash Twinsanity. But anyone who has played Crash Twinsanity knows that there is no such thing. It seems that when you got a relic from it, it would show up on the pause screen like this. This picture shows what seems to be either a life icon adding up to the total, kind of like in the classic Crash games, or just simply a misplaced Crash icon. I'm not sure which. This screenshot shows
really
the janitors from Classroom Chaos
You would like it so much
outside
that you
of
wouldn't want to
that
play
level,
it,
and in the regular hub world of the Academy of Evil. They should not be here, and maybe they were here in the original version of Crash Twinsanity. In the beta, Aku Aku had a blue feather, but in the final game, Aku Aku doesn't have a blue feather. This footage is from an early version of the roller brawl in Captain Catastrophe. There seems to be some different object placement. Very interesting. Now the really big stuff. Some entire levels were cut from Crash Twinsanity. First up, we have the Lava Cave. This would have been the 10th dimension opposite of Ice Climb. And what many people say is that the track that was meant for Ice Climb was actually meant for this level. But it's not. Next, we have the most popular, talked about, and infamous Crash Twinsanity cut level, Gonna Bit Coco. Gonna Bit Coco was a level where you played as Cortex and would have controlled Cortex. Well, that's what I said earlier. In Coco's mind. Yeah. It's filled with teddy bears and flowers and all that cute stuff that we really like. The reason this level was cut is because the level was broken. If you moved, then you'd fall through the world, and they didn't have enough time to fix it, and it had to be cut. Like Ice Climb, people say that the track that was meant for Boiler Room Doom was actually meant for Gonna Bit Coco. But in fact, Spyromoth actually said that it was meant for Boiler Room Doom. Some early gameplay of the game shows Crash Cortex, or Crash on Cortex in the Humiliskate level, Flipside Ice page, could run through nitro boxes and only lose their Aku Aku mask. Kinda like in the not in the final game, the Wrath of Cortex and those old Crash games. This could have meant that obviously, you could run through nitro crates and you would be just fine, as seen in this early gameplay video, but probably to make it more difficult than other Crash games, they decided to make it kill you instantly like it does in the final game. This could be why you can see a lot more TNT in the game. Crash Twinsanity might have had a co-op mode, as some animations are labeled with the word co-op. In the files of Crash Twinsanity, there is some unused text. I'll put it up on screen now. There is some more beta stuff, but it is pretty small. But I will show some screenshots of the beta of stuff that I'm probably not going to explain right now. And that's the beta of Crash Twinsanity. Although there are a lot of cut or altered things in the game, it is still a great experience from beginning to end, and I definitely suggest that you should pick it up. So, if you want to see more of beta time, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, if you haven't already. This was Blue98 with beta time, and now I am signing off.